Infrastructure and Public Safety, come to order. Let's call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater.
Here.
Schnelltein. Brown. Gregory. Shore. Washington. Weber.
Quorum being established, we are, I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session. Do I have a second? Having a second will be, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. We're in executive session. I move, we have several bills here we'll go through and discuss. I move that Senate Bill 944 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it. Bills before the committee. This bill was presented by Senator May, and it modifies the salary for the attorney of the sheriff of St. Louis City. There is a substitute ending in .03C. The changes in the substitute include repealing language regarding the semi-monthly payments. The sheriff's attorney removes the range of compensation, allows the sheriff to set the salary, and provides that attorney serves at the pleasure of the sheriff. We talked about this. The senator came before us. Seemed like a logical change to our statutes to give them more authority to figure out what their legal system needs to look like. Any discussion on the substitute? Hearing none. All those in favor of the substitute signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. We've adopted the substitute. I now move that we vote Senate Committee substitute for Senate Bill 944 do pass. Do I have a second? Having a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, let's call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater.
Aye.
Schnelltein.
Aye. Do I need to make it talk about it being
Brown.
a consent before we do this?
Gregory. Shore. Washington. Weber.
My vote is 6-0. You voted do pass Senate Committee substitute for Senate Bill 944. I now move that we vote Senate Committee substitute for Senate Bill 944 consent. If you recall in our conversation, this was a simple fix to something St. Louis needed for them. Do I have a second? Any further discussion? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater. Schnelltein. Brown. Gregory. Shore. Washington. Weber.
Having unanimous consent, we will move that bill forward. Consent. I now move that Senate Bill 965 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? Having a second, those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is before the committee. This bill is presented by Senator Mosley, and it creates the CTF medical alert system. Discussion on that bill. Seeing none, let's call it. I move that we vote Senate Bill 965 do pass. Do I have a second? Any further discussion? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater.
Aye.
Schnelltein. Brown. Gregory. Shore. Washington. Weber.
I voted. Good luck with that. By your vote of 6-0, you voted do pass that bill. I move that Senate Bill 1033 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? So we got a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. The ayes have it. The bill is before the committee. This bill is presented by Senator Bean. It exempts certain farm vehicles from emissions inspection requirements. We've had this bill for several years. We've always passed it out of here. So any discussion on that bill? Seeing none, I move that we vote do pass Senate Bill 1033. Having a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater.
Aye.
Schnelltein. Brown. Gregory. Shore. Washington. Weber.
By your vote of 6-0, you voted do pass Senate Bill 1033. I now move that Senate Bill 1087 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is before the committee. This bill is presented by Senator Nicola, and it modifies provisions relating to driver's licenses. There's a substitute ending in .03C. The changes in the substitute include allowing the suspension of the driver's license of a defendant to become active 33 days after notice to the department. after notice to the department is received from the court, and it removes section 302.341.4 relating to temporary driving permits for those charged with minor traffic violations. Discussions on the underlying bill or substitute. Senator Weber, go ahead.
Very briefly. I talked to Senator Washington. She's out of town today, but I know she's got an issue with the bill, so I'm going to vote no just for her, just so people are aware.
Great. Okay. Further discussion on the substitute. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of the substitute signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. We've adopted the substitute. I now move that Senate Committee substitute for Senate Bill 1087 be voted do pass. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, let's call the roll.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Schnelting. Brown. Gregory. Shore. Washington. Weber.
By a vote of 5-1, you voted do pass Senate Committee substitute for Senate Bill 1087. I now move that Senate Bill 1146 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is before the committee. This bill is presented by Senator Gregory, and it modifies provisions relating to port authorities. There is a substitute ending in .03C offered by Senator Gregory. Senator Gregory, do you care to explain the changes in the substitute?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There's quite a few changes. There's been lengthy discussion with all interested parties in the port world, of which there are quite a few I've come to learn. And I think we've got, as far as the port world goes, everybody on the same boat. Thank you.
Wait, you may have just killed your bill, Senator. Congratulations.
Got everybody on the same page so far with substitute. I can go through it, but I think we've got better time to go through. In the words of a former senator, we're eliminating some words and inserting some words that makes everybody agreeable.
Well, we will discuss it if any senator desires. Any discussion on the substitute? Seeing none, I will make a motion that we adopt that substitute ending in .03C. Do I have a second? Having a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting the committee substitute say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. I now move that we vote Senate Committee substitute for Senate Bill 1146 do pass. Do I have a second? Having a second, any further discussion on the Senate Committee substitute? Seeing none, let's call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater.
Aye.
Schnelting. Brown. Gregory. Shore. Washington. Weber.
By your vote of 5-1, the motion carries. I move that Senate Bill 1408 be brought before the committee. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The bill is before the committee. This bill is presented by Senator Berger and increases the maximum speed limit from 70 to 75 miles per hour on rural interstates and freeways. Any discussion? Seeing none. I move that we vote Senate Bill 1408 do pass. Do I have a second? Having a second. Any further discussion? Any final discussion? Alyssa, call the roll.
Senators Fitzwater.
Aye.
Schnelting. Brown. Gregory. Shore. Washington. Weber.
By your vote of 5-1, that motion carries. I now will make a motion to move out of executive session if I get a second. Having a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. We are out of executive session. We'll go into the hearing. Since Senator Brown's on the committee, we're going to make him sit around while Senator Carter proposes her bill. Senator, is that okay, being the senior member? Would you? I didn't even ask, so I don't want to be terribly offensive.
To sit through hearing another bill. Thank you, Mr. Chair, committee members. I appreciate the opportunity to bring forward to you Senate Bill 1128, also known as the Second Amendment Financial Privacy Act. It is designated and designed to protect the privacy and constitutional rights of law-abiding Missouri gun owners. The Second Amendment guarantees the right to keep and bear arms without government surveillance, tracking, or political targeting. Senate Bill 1128 prohibits Missouri government entities from creating or keeping any registry or list of privately owned firearms for their owners. It also prevents payment card networks and financial institutions from flagging or categorizing firearm-related transactions in a way that will enable tracking or discrimination. This bill draws a clear line. Lawful gun ownership must never be treated as inherently suspicious. It safeguards financial privacy in firearm purchases, prevents chilling effects on constitutional rights, and reaffirms Missouri's commitment to individual liberty. I urge the committee's support for the straightforward protection and appreciate your time.
Any questions for the sponsor? Senator Weber, go ahead.
Senator, first off, good morning.
Good
or
morning.
Good afternoon, happy Monday.
Yeah.
How does this differ from, in terms of not content, but in terms of like the purpose and like the implications from the previous bill we heard, I think last week?
Great question. So this has to do in relation to those merchant category codes by financial institutions. So what we saw was there's some traction from basically international companies saying this is a way to target or to track purchases. Right now, they're just basically designated, or have been in the past, have historically been designated as sports goods or things like that. But for them to start tracking them potentially and changing those merchant codes is what we're talking about. Unless there's a lawsuit or some criminal case or something where they can investigate.
Further questions? Seeing none, anybody here to testify in favor of the bill? Proceed when you're ready. Please fill out a witness form for our records.
There we go. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm Darren Lasorte with the National Shooting Sports Foundation. We're the Firearm Industry Trade Association. I just want to briefly give you some history behind this proposal. What happened was Amalgamated Bank in New York City, run by a very, very activist gun control proponent, petitioned the international body in Switzerland to create a merchant category code specific to firearm retailers. This is something that's been proposed by the gun control advocates for a very long time. That group in Switzerland has said, no, that's getting into politics. We don't need to do that. There is a Second Amendment in the United States. And the Biden administration intervened, and that body did circumvent its normal process to create this code. And what the advocates basically said is, if Jill Carter spends too much money in a gun store in Missouri, we're going to file a notice to the federal authorities, and they're going to complete what's called a suspicious activities report, so that federal authorities could go and investigate her and ask her why she spent $7,000 in a gun store. This is stuff that if I talked about 7 years ago, you'd throw me in a padded room and call me a conspiracy theorist. It's happening now, and what this bill does is simply prohibits it from happening in the state of Missouri, so that there will not be surveillance of your citizens and their spending habits in gun-related and ammunition-related stores. Thank you, and happy to answer any questions.
Questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Anybody else
Thank
here
you.
to testify in favor of the bill?
Yes, in favor of the bill, sir.
Anybody else here to testify in favor? Proceed when you're ready. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and committee members. My name is Kelvin Curtis, and I serve as the State Director for the National Rifle Association here in Missouri. On behalf of the National Rifle Association and our thousands of members across the state, I am here today to testify in strong support of Senate Bill 1128, also known as the Second Amendment Financial Privacy Act. This legislation represents a substantial investment in safeguarding our fundamental rights and privacy rights of law-abiding citizens. Historically, there's been multiple attempts by providing institutions to implement surveillance mechanisms aimed at monitoring exercising our Second Amendment rights, and Senate Bill 1128 explicitly addresses these issues by enacting regulations concerning how covered entities assign or associate merchant category codes, or MCCs, to credit card payment transactions. This practice as assigned, as described in this legislation, involved allocation or association of particular codes to a merchant or a transaction in a manner that facilitates the tracking of private purchases by financial institutions. This issue extends beyond mere data organization and pertains to capacity of financial institutions to establish a backdoor registry for firearms and ammunition owners. And it is imperative for this committee to fully understand the comprehensive scope, protection guaranteed by this legislation. The definition of ammunition within this act is broad, encompassing not only cartridges, but also cartridge cases, primers, bullets, propellant powders designed for use in any firearm, and without protections offered by Senate Bill 1128, all components purchased by hobbyists or hunters could potentially be identified and tracked through merchant category codes. And the NRA asserts that the privacy The private financial records of law-abiding American citizens should not be utilized as a tool for social or political profiling by preventing this discriminatory acts. Of the use of these sort of codes, Senate Bill 1128 ensures the protection of the financial privacy of gun owners and maintains the confidentiality of our lawful transactions between them and merchants. And today, we urge respectfully that this committee to advocate for the privacy rights of your gun owners here in the state of Missouri, and as a recommendation, as a yes vote for regarding the Second Amendment Financial Privacy Act. Thank you for your time and dedication to serving and safeguarding our constitutional freedoms. And I'm here and open for any questions that you may have.
Any questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else here to testify in favor? Anybody here to testify in opposition? Anybody for informational purposes only? That'll conclude the hearing. Thank you, Senator. Yep. All right, Senator Brown, thank you for your patience. Senate Bill 942.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. For the record, Senator Justin Brown, representing the senatorial 16th District. Today I'm here to present Senate Bill 942. Senate Bill 942 allows trucks hauling construction materials and raw materials to operate up to 10% above current weight limits on non-interstate highways. Posted bridge limits and all existing safety requirements will remain in place. I believe this bill reduces cost and increases efficiency by allowing heavier loads mean fewer truck trips are needed, reducing hauling and project cost. We have that now in the ag world with grain and log hauling, and with that, I will entertain any questions. Thank you.
Any questions for the sponsor? Seeing none. Anybody here to testify in favor of the bill?
Good afternoon, Chairman Fitzwater, members of the committee. My name is Dale Williams. I work for the Missouri Asphalt Pavement Association. We're a trade association that represents the asphalt contracting community in the state. We have approximately 100 members, and they have several thousand employees working for them. We're here to support the bill today because we believe that this is a value for the taxpayer. In our industry, we struggle to get trucks now the way it is. This is really nothing new. MoDOT gives us exemption to grain farmers in the harvest season. We see it during emergencies. I think just when we had some flooding last year, this was extended to haul material for flood repair. And as the senator mentioned, this doesn't allow them to go over on bridge weight. I mean, they still have to meet all the posted things. And again, it's just really about reducing cost to the taxpayer. We can be more efficient and get the jobs done faster. With that, I'd be glad to take any questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for this witness? Senator Robert, go ahead.
What's the weight limit? Maybe there's various different
It
limits,
would,
but
it would allow them to exceed their legal weight by 10%.
okay. So if there was like a load that was like 79,800 pounds, I could drive it. But if I got out of the cab and Senator Gregory got in, would you'd be exceeding the limit? Oh God, that's a problem. I understand your bill. Thank you.
Could not reference other senators' weights. That'd be really helpful. Have a little decorum around here. Any other questions? Any other questions for this witness? Thank you, sir, for your testimony. Anybody else here to testify in favor? That's true. Anybody else? Anybody else? No. Anybody here for in opposition to the bill?
Good afternoon. Katie Gamble here on behalf of the Missouri Railroad Association. We want to go on record in opposition to Senate Bill 942 for some safety and infrastructure concerns that we have should the bill become law. We believe heavier trucks underpay for their road damage, which shifts that burden onto taxpayers. And it also hurts rail. Rail reduces emissions and congestion on our roads. And we believe that these benefits are at risk if you continue to increase truck weights. When you increase weights, you're accelerating pavement deterioration, so you're decreasing the lifespan of your roads and bridges and the time that you're going to have to take to fix those back up after they've seen some deterioration and destruction. Destruction's an aggressive word. So maybe something slightly less than that. I think the other challenge is that we have a lot of bridges in the state of Missouri that either have weight limits, and while you would still have to follow those weight limits, there are a lot of bridges that haven't been tested for this new weight. And so better understanding where you don't have those weight limits now, whether or not you need to input weight limits on those bridges is something that I think would have to fall to the department to do. And we know that there's a lot of deficient bridges already in the state of Missouri, and so we don't want to be adding to that backlog that we already have. Lastly, anytime you're diverting cargo onto trucks, you're increasing the truckloads. So I know that a lot of times we think if we can add weight to trucks, you're going to see fewer of them on the road. But if it leads to a diversion of cargo from rail to trucks, then you're actually going to see more on the road. And I know that in general, that's not overly exciting for many motorists. Lastly, I've got a letter from the Citizens Against Bigger Trucks. They were unable to attend today, but I'll submit it with my testimony. Happy to answer any questions. And thank you for your time.
Any questions? Seeing none. Anybody else here to testify in opposition? Well, you decide, Commissioner.
I'm going to decide to sit down.
Just let us know for our records, or opposition or for information.
I think I'm an opposition.
Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. I'm Gary Youngerman, Callaway County Presiding Commissioner. I'm basically here for the county. I did talk to several commissioners today, but I can only represent myself in Callaway County. I think the issue lies is Callaway County has 4 quarries, possibly a 5th one coming on. Out of majority of those quarries, they enter on county road, or they leave the quarry on county roads, which is one of our biggest disasters in the county anyway. It does do damage to county roads. The other thing that I'd like to add, it is a public safety issue, I believe, for a multitude of reasons. We have a quarry in Avoz, Highway 54. There's been some, for the lack of no real good way to get on 54 up there, there's no acceleration lanes or deceleration lanes. We've had many near misses, and we actually have had, the county was involved in one death trying to get out onto 54, and that one technically wasn't our fault. The driver, the lady driving the car, there was no skid marks or anything. She slammed right into the back of a dump truck. So I think there's some safety issues out there that need to be addressed if you're going to start putting heavier loads on the road. It does do damage. And out of all the commissioners that I did talk to this morning, none of them were in favor of this bill necessarily. And I myself do understand the situation. I was in construction for numerous years, and so I do understand the need to be able to do things quicker. There are fewer drivers out there, but I think along with saying something about fewer drivers, we got to look at what we've got out there too, and some of the safety issues that do concern me, not only with driving and to some degree, but also with, you know, even some of these newer trucks, the way they're being built, being built lighter with a lot more axles, and to me that's a little concerning. So,
Okay. Thank you, sir. Any questions for the commissioner? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Anybody else here in opposition? Anybody for informational purposes only? Seeing none, that'll conclude the hearing. Thank you, Senator. All right, that's all the business we have before us. Seeing no further business, I make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Okay, there we go. Having a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. We're adjourned. I'm going to just go back in one day.